Well, this demand will continue. Travel this summer is looking promising and outstanding. The latest data from our survey shows that 80% of American travelers are ready to travel right now, which is quite a sea change compared to earlier on in the year. And an even larger 85% of Americans expect to take a trip in the next 3 months, and they're planning multiple trips. I am not so surprised by this. I have so many friends, family members, and colleagues who have shared that they not only can't wait to get out and travel, but also have several trips planned for this summer. And just as a side note, my group of friends and I, we plan 2 camping trips every summer. And even with planning far in advance this year, there were challenges trying to find available campsites. Fortunately, we were able to book a campsite over Labor Day weekend, but I think with so many campsites, hotels, and even vacation rentals and Airbnbs being booked, it's really a testament to the fact that travel and the travel outlook for this summer is looking great and will probably look great well into the fall season as well.
I want to talk about camping in a little bit, but we want to talk about another thing, is that with demand comes high prices. That's just Economics 101. As consumers, should we expect this kind of sticker shock to be across the board? And we were seeing it with airline tickets, rental cars, hotels. And when might this ease for us?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for bringing that up, Francis. We've heard a lot about high travel prices, and these high prices are affecting travel. Our most recent data that our team analyzed today, which hasn't been published quite yet, it will be publicly released early next week. That data shows that 60% of Americans agree that travel prices are too high right now. And when we dug deeper to explore which specific travel services are seen as too high, about half or more feel that, as you mentioned, hotel rates, gasoline, airfare, and car rental fees are too expensive. And these high prices appear to be a deterrent to travel. We're seeing well over a third of Americans who agree that high travel prices have kept them from taking a trip in the past month. But as far as how long this will last, at this point, it's hard to tell.
And for those like you who are lucky to get places to travel to, we are seeing people flood to these traditional popular tourist spots, Paris, Rome. But are we also seeing demand for more of these unconventional places, ones that involve the so-called trend of glamping and being outdoors and camping like yourself?
Yes, absolutely. Over the course of the pandemic, we've seen small towns and rural destinations, as well as state and national parks, rise in popularity. For most of the time over the pandemic, travel demand was greatly suppressed, and the demand that did exist was for places where people would feel safe and away from crowds, hence the popularity of small towns and parks. But to your point, Francis, while interest in these types of destinations continues, we're seeing cities and urban destinations rebound. We actually ask American travelers which domestic destinations they most want to visit in the next year, and New York City, Los Angeles, and Miami were amongst the top destinations that were listed.
And Kimberly, how has this pandemic impacted the landscape of travel, and how do you think businesses and consumers will have to adjust to this uncertainty still of this pandemic? We still have variants out there. I mean, how do you think that will play a role?
Yes, I think that the pandemic will definitely play a role and continue to impact the travel experience, in large part due to the fact that things aren't back to normal quite yet, and due to the Delta variant. Amongst Americans who took an overnight leisure trip in the past 3 months, about half reported that their restaurant and hotel experiences were normal. But that leaves the other half who felt that their experiences weren't normal. Additionally, 43% felt that travel businesses were having trouble providing adequate service. But despite that, Americans are in a forgiving mood towards the industry. They're having a great time traveling, even though the industry isn't fully back to normal. But as you mentioned, Francis, the Delta variant and increasing cases, these will also impact travel. Our most recent data shows that half of Americans are less interested in traveling right now because of the increasing Delta variant cases. So with those increasing cases and things not fully back to normal quite yet, the travel experience will continue to be impacted.